Hello and welcome to this short explanation and overview of this wonderful scripture in Acts 26:19, where Paul says, "Whereupon, O King Agrippa, I was not disobedient unto the heavenly vision." The heavenly vision, what transports, what images are conjured up by this phrase in this quirky, charismatic age. Sometimes I think that the followers of Jesus would like to be immersed again into what the scriptures called the disposition of angels. They appear to yearn for what the people of the chosen descendants of Abraham after the flesh had, even though signs did not automatically open the door of faith for them. The signs and wonders in our natural temporal realm. They long to observe and experience pillars of cloud and fire, miraculous events in the heavens, the waterways, the mountains, the plains of our earth that suddenly open, or perhaps the visual unveiling of the signs and prophecies of the future. Signs in the skies, signs in the cosmos, signs in earth, signs in waters, signs under the waters, signs to the portal of time into the future. All these external events hold a wondrous attraction to them. Even though the book of Psalms clearly points out the shortcomings of this attitude, the children of Israel saw his works, but Moses understood his ways. So what was the heavenly vision that Paul determined to be obedient to? Was it this majestic vision that so enthralled his soul? What was it? What was this fantastic vision that he would follow the Lord even unto death? Was he alluding to a man caught into the third heaven? Just what was this heavenly vision that captured the ambition, the heart, the mind, and the purpose of the Apostle Paul? Surely this is worth discovering. Perhaps if we caught a glimpse of this heavenly vision, we too would love not our lives unto death. We too would walk in that charity and power that Paul calls us to, when he at least 5 times calls us to do the things that we so plainly see in him. When he calls us to follow him as he follows the Lord Jesus. Oh, that we would catch a glimpse of this heavenly vision. Oh, that the mystery and the mist would be rolled away so that we can feast our eyes and emotions on this heavenly vision. Oh, that this heavenly vision would inspire our imagination and fire our zeal for God within our hearts. Just what was this heavenly vision? Is the portal to the view of this heavenly vision still open today? Don't be surprised or dismayed. This heavenly vision is as clear today as it was then. And if you see it in its power and simplicity, in its burning light, in the clarity of its vista, you will, like Paul, determine by the grace of God that you will be obedient to it. This vision will infuse its urgency into the very core of your being. Whether waking or sleeping, you will be empowered to be obedient and to fulfill the calling of God in your life. For this heavenly vision is not a vision of heaven, the angelic host, the elders gathered around the great white throne, and the sea of glass like unto crystal. No, this vision is more blessed, in the sense that those that believe and have not seen are blessed. John 20:29, Jesus saith unto them, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they which have not seen and yet believed. Maybe you think this vision that enwrapped Paul was the face of Christ. a deeper insight will lead you to see veiled truths, secret mysteries, hidden keys that will unlock the road to an easy overcoming life. If only you had such a deeper insight, you say. But listen, if you look carefully at this passage with an open heart and mind, you will see that it was the vision of a new life that suddenly dawned upon the heart of Paul. A life that if you but knew it, you're already living as a born-again Christian. Paul had been living a low-level life, serving his proud self, totally against Christ. He'd been fighting Christ at every turn. He wasn't looking for a ceasefire. He was spent on denying Christ and living to his own convictions. Suddenly, like the new Jerusalem that will come down out of heaven from God, there came unto him the vision of life, which was in his reach. It beckoned him, and though that life meant suffering, ridicule, persecution, prisons, stripes, death, he determines to live this life, swerving neither right nor left, by even the tiniest fraction, till at last he said, I've finished my course. Paul kicked against the pricks of the resurrection, and would have been convicted at the stoning of Stephen, although he buried that conviction in an unrighteous zeal to stamp out the resurrected Christ. He kicked against the goad that God stirred him with. But eventually, God in his love and mercy paints a picture on the cloud that hid his future. The picture was a vision of a life so blessed, so appealing, so radiant, so triumphant, that this vision accomplished the desire of God. God, who is not willing that anyone should perish, but desires that all of us should come to repentance. The beckoning of this sweet ideal was successful, and Paul said, I was not disobedient to the heavenly vision. If only we could see that vision. If only I could describe it to you. For I believe that if you saw it as Paul saw it, or if I could describe it as I saw it, you would leap to it. You would say, oh yes, when I caught a glimpse of the blessed life that I might lead, when I, who have been such a failure, such a stumbling block, when I brought so much shame upon those that love Christ, then I would not be disobedient to the heavenly vision. But I took the first step, and the next, and the next, and life has begun to become one long summer day. So we want to live for the Lord Jesus, and sometimes when a heavy morning mist veils the valleys and hills, we feel as if half our world is blotted out. But, as always, suddenly there comes a breath, or the sun's rays, and the mist parts, and the landscape stands unveiled before us. God often parts the mist that hides the future, and shows us what a man may be. I urge people to seek God for the vision of what your life may be, and then obey it, because when you catch God's vision, you will always find him responsible for the outworking of its plan. People worry about money matters, carry weights, and so I think perhaps they've lost sight of the vision. Because when God gives the plan, you always find the stuff. When God beckons you forward, he is always responsible for the transportation. As you read this passage in the book of Acts, You see what Paul is talking about. And the first thing that he experiences is a life, freedom, because we're set free from the curse of sin and the self-life. This true life is not an unnatural life. It's a blessed life. It is a life that is filled by the presence of God. Let God unveil this vision to you so that you can see the marvelous things that he has in store for you. Not just in the future realm, but in the heavenly kingdom that now, in the midst of the passage of this life. Remember that we have a heavenly calling. This is not merely a calling to go one day to heaven itself. It is more importantly a calling that is in the power and the providence of heaven. We have the power to live now, today, in the power of heaven, in the power of God. So it is with this heavenly vision. It is not so much a vision of heaven yet to be gained, but it is the vision of the redeemed life, of the life of reformation that comes from heaven itself, where the slain lamb sits on the right hand of God. So let the Lord reveal this heavenly vision, this vision that is in the power and the spirit of heaven, this life that you have been liberated into, that you can live in the name of Jesus, that you can live by the name of Jesus, that you can live rejoicing and praising him and knowing him who is life eternal. It is Jesus in you who is the hope of glory. So yes, you can see this heavenly vision and you can determine that you are going to be fully obedient to it. Praise his mighty, blessed name. Amen.